Thank you so much, Brad. I would like to call the 2019 Annual General Meeting to order in accordance with the notice meeting sent March 7th, 2019, as provided for in the bylaws of the association. The AGM is an important opportunity for members to learn what the board and staff have been working on over the course of the year. This year, we're pleased to be live streaming the AGM so that members who are unable to be here with us in Vancouver can also participate. I'd like to call upon our Executive Director and birthday girl, Nancy Taylor, to provide the highlights from the 2018 annual report.
Thank you all, and thank you for the wonderful birthday wishes. This is not the first time I've been celebrating at an annual conference. Can't think of a better place to be than with all you wonderful colleagues and the support that you provide all year round to myself and the team. So thank you for those warm wishes. So this is the more formal part of our meeting. I'd like to just take a few minutes to walk you through some of the work that we've done over the past year. In keeping with our commitment to accountability to our members and to those who pay to attend our educational programs, I want to give you some brief highlights from our 2018 annual report. All members were emailed a copy on May 14th, It can be downloaded from your app. There is one copy on your table. Feel free to take it if you'd like. If you'd like your own copy, there are also some at the AGM or the LGMA booth, Last year was another very successful year for the association where I think we demonstrated our commitment to you to learn, lead, and grow. I also want to acknowledge the work that your board has done behind the scenes. They've been very committed to improve governance practices, and they have their own continuous improvement and learning plan every year. They had several strategic sessions last year to provide guidance and direction to the staff, particularly around the review of the LGMA Code of Ethics, which is later on this morning's agenda. We've also continued to update our long-range educational plans and our financial forecasting to make sure that we're meeting the evolving needs of local government professionals. And I think this is going to be important work for us as we head into 2020, which is our next 5-year strategic planning cycle. So just like you guys have to do strategic plans with your councils, your board, your staff, and your chapter executives are going to help us plot a chart for the next 5 years, starting in March of 2020. You can see from the graphics here just what a busy year it was for the team in 2018. We delivered 25 programs to more than 1,570 staff across BC. It was an election year, so there were a lot of election workshops around the province as well. I would like to acknowledge the exceptional team at the LGMA who really are at the heart of our success. They are an extraordinary group of very talented, very hardworking professionals, and they're striving each and every day to be able to serve you and your local governments. I'm very proud of all of their achievements, and I would ask if they would just please stand and get the acknowledgement and recognition that they deserve. So please, Anna Fuller, Elizabeth Brennan, Shannon Gustafson, Janet Hawkins, Randy Platts, Sonia Santa Rosa, Allison Habkirk, and Ryan Hunt. Thank you. Thanks. For those of you who weren't at the President's reception last night, you will maybe not know that Elizabeth is retiring as of August 1st, and it's going to leave a big hole in our team. We're going to miss her creativity and her energy and her enthusiasm. She is at her daughter's graduation today, but she will be back for tomorrow, so I know many of you will want to wish her well in retirement. The successes of this past year, and indeed the secret to what I think has meant the longevity of the association over the last 100 years, is a powerful combination of volunteerism, mentoring, and networking. And the results of the association speak volumes about that power of membership, then the volunteer spirit that makes absolutely everything that we do possible, plus the unwavering commitment of our long-term sponsors. So first of all, thank you to all the incredible volunteers who have helped us along the way this past year. We're going to have a special recognition at tomorrow's lunch. And to all of our sponsors, our deepest thanks and gratitude. I want to especially thank Young Anderson and Lidstone and Company. They are our centennial sponsors for the year, and they've provided us with incredible support and generous funding that's allowed us to prepare a number of special activities and supports for our 100th year. So please give them some thanks. You'll see them tonight at their receptions. I really appreciate if you could let them know how much they mean to our association. I'd like to, thank you. Just want to give you a few quick highlights. All of you are accountable in your local governments for providing performance results to your councils. So likewise, we want to just give you a sense of how we've been doing over the course of the year. We hit 90% or above course enrollment in all but one of our programs. And across all but one program, we received 80% or above program satisfaction for our program content, the materials presented, and the quality of our speakers. We also get consistently strong feedback that we offer good value for the costs that we're charging for our programs. Last year, we successfully tested our first fully online program. So we've had webinars for many years now, especially courtesy of Jan Enns and Tracy Lorenzen in the early days. This program, though, was a full course cohort, all done online, with reviewed assignments and coaching sessions from the faculty. It went very well. It was called Writing Effectively Online. We're going to offer a bylaw drafting online course this fall, and we've just held the second round of writing. This is the wave of the future. We know how challenging it is for many of you to travel for training, and the future growth of the association is going to depend, I think, on our ability to broaden the suite of the courses that we can offer online. Our participants are also telling us through their evaluations that we are providing very positive and engaging environments that support what you need for professional networking. And even in the online programming, we develop and build in a component that allows you to network with folks, even if you're not actually able to meet face-to-face. We are showing this in yellow still because we have a ways to go, I think, particularly in terms of mentoring opportunities. And we have a very exciting announcement to help with the mentoring and the coaching that I know many of you have been looking for. So we're very pleased that the Intercity County Management Association, or ICMA, has partnered with us to allow us to access their coaching program. And this is going to allow all of you access to a network of peer coaches and mentor connections from a very diverse and deep pool of expertise. We would really love to add to the roster of ICMA some BC coaches, so if you're interested, we'd love to chat with you. We have a sign-up sheet at the LGMA booth, but if you don't get to me over the course of the conference, just pick up the phone or drop me an email. I'm happy to tell you a little bit more about it. The highly specialized environment of local government requires both new and seasoned local government professionals to stay abreast of the technical and legislative changes in your world. And I think we've been well on our way to meeting some of those performance goals for good resource materials. I've shown this in the yellow zone because we got some very, very valuable feedback that work needs to be done on our human resource toolkit, and that work is underway with a very experienced advisory committee. And we are hoping to be able to have that ready for release in 2020. We were very proud last year as well to offer a brand new resource ahead of the elections. We had an elected official orientation resource kit. And we've heard from a number of communities that they did find the resources in that kit to be helpful, especially in the post-election orientation period. We continue to try to raise the level of understanding and awareness about the services that you have available to you as members. We're reporting in yellow here because we're still surprised from time to time to realize that people don't understand what we as an association can offer you. We want to do a little bit more surveying with you before the end of the year so that we can better appreciate what we need to do to help you realize what supports are available. We do continue to get requests for specialized member services like pension consulting, and Jerry Wojtak is here, as well as transition counseling for those who may have had an unexpected termination from their position. Scholarships are a really important part of the services that we offer to further professional qualifications for the local government sector. And in years where we have significant surpluses over the revenues needed to run the association, we top up our scholarship funding. Last year we gave away almost $30,000, and over the course of the 14 years that we've been offering scholarships, we've given away $170,000 to support the education of your colleagues around the province. Scholarship applications are now open for this year. Come see us at the board or at the LGMA booth if you need more information. The deadline is going to be September 27th. So if you're in a program, you have staff or colleagues who would benefit from this, please let us know and let them know that these scholarships are available. The strong strategic results were also seen in our financials at year-end, and you are encouraged to review our financial report, which is in the annual report. These graphics are intended just to give you a quick roll-up of the categories of revenues and expenses for 2018, which are roughly in line with previous years. I have to say we have been forced to increase our fees. We're trying to do it as incrementally as possible to match inflation if feasible. But I know all of you struggle as well to manage the rising costs of services in your local government. But again, we're trying to look for ways to deliver the highest quality education in ways that are going to be the less taxing to the pocketbook. So if you have suggestions, we're certainly really open to ideas about how we can help to give you the best experience at a reasonable price. As a nonprofit, we aim to break even, and then we have reserve requirements, much as you do in your local governments, which are set by policy. So 2018, we had a very healthy surplus, which allowed us to meet our reserve contributions, and we made a $100,000 contribution to our member reserve for the development of future new programs. One of the things we're trying to put in place for next year is an executive coaching service, which would function very much like our current transition counseling. We would give you 2 hours of executive coaching at a time when you might need it, and then hopefully if you need more, you would have some budget within your own organizations to help you carry on. So that wraps up the formal review of 2018. Just ask if there are any questions. Anybody have anything they would like to ask of either me or the board specifically? Okay, you can always come and see us privately. Thank you for all your feedback and the support over this past year. I really enjoy coming out to the chapter meetings, to seeing you at our events around the province. I really appreciate when you give me feedback, whether it's good or bad. It's always super valuable. And I also want to say a special thank you to your board of directors for their hard work, their guidance, and their support this past year. On a personal note, as we reflect on a century of a local government management association and the services that we've been able to provide and the incredible educational programming that we offer, it's a real privilege and an honor for me to be in this role and to work with all of you and the amazing professionals that make this association what it is. So thank you all. Thank you to our predecessors, my executive director and our board predecessors over the last 100 years. They've left us an amazing legacy, and it's ours to protect and to carry forward. So thank you all for all of your support. And I would like now to turn it back over to Mark Koch and Patty Bridle, who's the chair of the Ethics Committee, for an update of the work we've been doing on the Code of Ethics.
Thank you, Nancy. As a chair of the Ethics Committee, I also want to acknowledge two other people on the Ethics Committee, Kelly Ridley and Paul Murray. And if we could just give them a little hand for all the work they've done. As one of the governance goals, the board of the LGMA has focused on ongoing professionalism of the association, including ensuring that we live up to the highest ethical standards in our conduct of our professional staff. We want to reinforce the efforts of the working group on the responsible conduct of elected officials by mirroring their foundational principles for ethical conduct. The board of LGMA directed at last year's AGM that a review of the LGMA's Code of Ethics and compliant procedures be completed. So as the chair of the Ethics Committee this past year, I'd like to share the results of that review, the recommendations that the board has approved to make changes to both the LGMA Code of Ethics and the complaint procedures. Let me start by just asking you, how many of you knew that the LGMA actually had a Code of Ethics? Well, that's a good sign. How many of you have actually read it? Well, that's a good sign, too. I think the awareness last year made us have a little look and see. As a condition of membership, LGMA members must agree to abide by the LGMA Code of Ethics, which is a set of values guiding your personal and professional behavior, and to submit to a peer-to-peer review of any allegation of unethical conduct involving them. The association's membership policy spells this out, along with the disciplinary procedures should a member be found to have breached the Code of Ethics. Most of us don't open our yearly membership packages, which includes the Code of Ethics. And I would guess that most of us don't notice that our membership requires that we even adhere to the Code of Ethics. That is why and where the board started when we directed the Ethics Committee to begin the review of our Code of Ethics and complaints process. Our Code of Ethics has not been a visible part of our membership requirements in the past. In these times where the social norms and expectations of civil behavior have changed dramatically, how can we, the local government professionals who serve our communities, be confident that we are demonstrating and living ethical practices? How can we, as a strong, vibrant, professional association, maintain high ethical standards and values for the future of our profession, for our staff, and for our communities? The Ethics Committee began by reviewing professional research and leading practice, code of conduct ethics, to understand what the LGMA could do better. We then consulted local government professionals through a survey, which many of you may have participated in, and an online focus group to tell us where you thought the association could improve. Associations with leading practice code of ethics and code of conduct demonstrate a number of common characteristics. Firstly, they have a defined values of an association and created a code of conduct that reflects those values. The LGMA had defined its values, but the translation of those values into practical guidelines for our code of conduct was missing. Local government professionals told us that they preferred to see more information and guidelines to explain how values translate into ethical behavior. And the experience of the Ethics Committee reinforces that. The current values of the Code of Ethics are excellent principles, but without descriptions of the behaviors to support those principles, we have struggled from time to time to determine whether ethical complaints violated those values. Associations with leading practice codes of ethics consistently build awareness around ethical issues through training to help strengthen problem-solving skills around ethical challenges. The LGMA offers training around ethical challenges in our Maddie Foundations, Maddie the Successful CAO, the professional forums like the CAO Forum, the Corporate Officers Forum, and the Administrative Professionals Forum. Our educational partners like Capilano University and UNBC also offer ethics programs which ladder into the local government certificates through the Board of Examiners. However, our research and our members told us that as an association, we have not communicated or focused enough on the importance of ethical behavior to our membership. Leading practice associations promote an organizational culture where people feel safe to raise questions about what they should and shouldn't do. Our research highlighted that as an association, we don't offer enough of those opportunities to discuss ethical challenges and dilemmas to increase the level of knowledge and understanding of ethical behavior. We have relied on our local governments to do that. An engagement with local government staff told us that some organizations do that and they do it well, and some do not have any significant discussions or training at all. Leading Practice Association have a mechanism where people can report on ethical behavior. The LGMA complaints procedure outlines how members can lay a complaint of unethical behavior about another member. But our research concluded that the process requires a number of changes to bring it in line with modern practices and with human rights law. Leading practice associations have consequences for violating the association's code of ethics that are clear, consequential, and well understood. The LGMA's disciplinary process is clear and transparent in policy, but there is not a high degree of awareness. We can do more to raise awareness and improve understanding of ethics across our local government management association.
So, what is changing? Firstly, the LGMA is moving to a mandatory code of ethics. Research of professional associations in the local government sphere shows that most have mandatory codes of ethics, even if they do not have a regulatory function. And all of those that have a certification process, as the LGMA does through the Board of Examiners for certificates in local government service delivery, administration, statutory administration, and executive management, have mandatory codes of ethics. What does mandatory mean? Every member must acknowledge that they will abide by the code of ethics. You will be required to sign off this acknowledgement when your membership is renewed. You will also be required to take ethics training. Ethics training requirements will be accessible, and the board has directed staff to ensure that it's not onerous to meet the training standards. All first-time members of the LGMA must complete 2 hours of mandatory ethics training in their first year. This training will be provided online and will be complimentary. Every LGMA member must complete 2 verifiable hours of ethics training every 2 years. There'll be multiple options to complete these 2 hours, including through associations and organizations outside of the LGMA. If you attend a CAO forum, a corporate officer forum, an administrative professionals forum, Maddie course, the annual conference, or a course delivered by another professional association, university, college, or accredited public institution on ethics, any ethics session hours will count towards your 2 hours of ethics training. You will always have an option online as well to meet your requirements for 2 hours of training. The LGMA Code of Ethics will be updated and rewritten with practice guidelines in time for the 2020 membership renewal. It is our hope that this will assist members to determine what is the appropriate action in a situation, as well as to assist the Ethics Committee in evaluating complaints against members. A legal review of the complaints procedure will be completed and changes made in time for 2020 membership renewal to to bring it in line with human rights law and administrative justice requirements. The disciplinary procedures and the membership policy will be legally reviewed and updated to align with the new Code of Ethics and the complaints procedures for January 2020. And all members will be informed of these changes. The LGMA will explore options for a third-party investigatory mechanism to be used only in cases of a complex complaint. It is rare, but from time to time complaints are received that have multiple components, such as bullying and harassment, which would require by law that a third-party investigation be undertaken. Typically, this would happen within the local government itself, but there may be instances where the Ethics Committee is asked to adjudicate a complaint with these complex requirements. We wish to have the option to resort to a qualified third-party investigator. The LGMA will also explore options for an ethics hotline for independent, confidential ethics advice. We are assessing whether this is feasible and if other local government associations might be interested in sharing the costs for such a service. We will report to the membership on our findings and potential costs later in 2020. As a professional association, the LGMA is committed to promoting a culture and philosophy of ethics to shape the values and expected behavior of our members. As we embark on our next century, we want to ensure that we can, with confidence, demonstrate the highest standards and guidelines for ethical conduct and integrity in all public, professional, and personal relationships. In order that each of us merits the trust and respect of our elected officials, fellow administrators, employees, and of course the public. I look forward to implementing these changes to the Code of Ethics as past president. We'll communicate these changes to all members. We look forward to further feedback from members as we begin to implement the changes. Your board is available at the annual conference if you would like to ask questions to provide input. We'll also be at the LGMA booth today and tomorrow, so we certainly welcome your feedback. Thank you very much. Thanks so much, Patty. I would like to conclude the formal part of the AGM now with the adoption of the minutes of the 2018 AGM. May I have a motion? And if I could also ask that you please mention your name out loud. I know a lot of you, but certainly not everyone, so certainly if you can say your name confidently, I'd be very, very appreciated. Name and first name and last name. So in terms of the adoption, we need to have a motion here to adopt the minutes of the 2018 Annual General Meeting. Could I have names, please? Did we get the names? Out loud, please. Perfect. And there was a seconder? Perfect. Thank you so much. So we have a motion on the table. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Looks like the motion carries. I wouldn't know what to do because that's a pretty tricky counting exercise, but we'll go with the general flavor. May I have a motion to adopt the President's report as circulated in the 2018 report? Name, please. Thank you. Seconder? Perfect. Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. May I have a motion to accept the financial statements as circulated in the 2018 report? Perfect. Do we get the names? Perfect. No? Yeah. Perfect. And seconder, I didn't see, sorry. Perfect. Any discussion? Seeing none? All those in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. May I also have a motion that BDO be approved as the auditor for the 2019 fiscal year? Thank you. Is there a seconder? Thank you. Perfect. Any discussion? Seeing none? All those in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. May I request a motion to adopt the reports of the Board of Examiners and Chapter Directors as circulated in the 2018 Annual Report? Thank you. Is there a seconder? Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. May I request a motion to adopt the 2018 Annual Report? Thank you. Perfect. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, motion carries. I'd like to call back Patty Bridle, past president, to present the report on the nominations for the board.
Thank you, Mark. This is my last duty as past president. I'm not just really excited about it because I'm going to miss this amazing team and Nancy's amazing team, but on behalf of the Governance Committee, I am pleased to provide the following candidates for consideration as members for the 2019-2020 Board of Directors. We have Ron Bowles, General Manager, Community Development, City of Campbell River, for President. We have Bill Flitton, Director, Legislative Services and City Clerk, City of Abbotsford, as Vice President. Heather Nielsen-Smith, Director of Corporate Services, District of Port Hardy, as Treasurer. We have two candidates for the two positions of Director at Large, which is a 2-year term. Madeline McDonald, CAO for Village of Harrison Hot Springs, and another director, Carrie Ann Austin, Director of Corporate Admin for the District of Coldstream. So the candidate information has been circulated electronically to all members, and you'll also find one copy of the nominations at your table. Nominations will also be called for and accepted from the floor in keeping with the policies and the procedures of the association. Members intending to nominate a candidate from the floor should be prepared with a letter of acceptance for the nomination from that candidate if they're not here. Otherwise, they can just agree here that they agree to be nominated. At this time, I'm going to call nominations for all the positions. So, first nomination is for the position of President. Are there any nominations from the floor? Calling a second time. Calling a third time for nominations from the floor. Nominations close, and I will declare Ron Bowles as the President for the 2019-2020 Board of Directors. Second call for nominations from the floor for Vice President. Second call. Third call for Vice President, nominations from the floor. Nominations close. I will formally advise that Bill Flitton has been nominated as the Vice President for LGMA Board of Directors. Next, for the position of Treasurer, are there any nominations from the floor? Second call. Third and final call for the nominations for Treasurer. I'll determine it closed, and I would like to announce that Heather Nielsen-Smith is our Treasurer. For the two positions that we have for Director of Large, are there any nominations from the floor? Second call. Third and final call for any nominations from the floor from Director at Large. And with that, I'd like to then confirm that Madeline McDonald and Carrie Ann Austin are directors of the board for the next 2019-2020. And I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Patty. I really do appreciate having spent time with you on the board, and certainly as the past president. So thank you very much for your mentorship, friendship, and you're an amazing colleague. I'd also like to thank everyone on the board for the amazing year. It's been fantastic. So thank you so much. It's been a great pleasure, and I'm very grateful. Thank you. So with that, I would like to introduce Diane Locken for an update on the pension plan. Diana Locken is a certified professional accountant with over 40 years of varied experience in both the public and private sectors. Diana is currently a member of the Board of Trustees of the Municipal Pension Plan, appointed by UBCM and the Province of BC, and has completed the Advanced Trustee Management Standards Program through the International Foundation on Employee Benefits Plans. She also sits on the board of Beacon Community Services, a Victoria-based charity. Diana was previously an executive team member for the Capital Regional District, with areas of responsibility including Chief Financial Officer, risk management, climate action, information technology, real estate and facilities, arts development, and an international project in Ghana through the Federation of Canadian Municipalities. You see, I try not to use the acronym, so FCM, we all know FCM. Previously, she also served on numerous boards, including that of the Government Finance Officers Association, GFOA, Western Canada GFOA, Southern Vancouver Island Certified Management Accountants, and the GMA BC. Thank you very much, Diana.
Thank you. Well, good morning, or good afternoon now, I guess, and welcome to the pension update for the year. Where is the, forward, next. Okay, I'm good. I think I'm good. Okay. So thanks for being here. I guess with lunch coming here, there's a bigger crowd than we sometimes get, so that's great. I'll quickly go through an overview of what's happened in our pension for the last year. So our top 3 pension security goals you can see there, and of course the most important is providing the basic pension. As a pension plan, we operate under a joint trust agreement, and half the board members represent employees, and half of the board members represent plan employers, and I'm appointed by UBCM in the province of BC through the LGMA and GFOA. Together, we all operate under a joint trust agreement, and I'm still really happy to say that sitting around that boardroom, I cannot tell who represents whom because everybody is focused on the pension promise being the most important thing. So some of the benefits of our plan are listed there, and of course, number 1 is a reliable lifetime pension, and it's based on a formula, so there's some certainty to what will happen. It's pre-funded by generation, and we have pooled investments with the other pension plans that are public sector in British Columbia, and that gives us more opportunities on the investment side. And for employees, it's a guaranteed savings plan, and for employers, it can be a recruitment benefit when they're trying to attract new members. We have made lots of improvements in our website over the years, so take a look. There's lots of tips and facts, and if the last time you looked was 3 or 4 years ago, it's totally different. So I encourage you to do that. So some key facts about the plan. We have lots of members, and we have lots of employers, and in fact, 1 in 14 British Columbians is an MPP member. And the plan has billions of dollars in assets as identified there. Here's a pictorial of what happened this last year. We started out with 51 billion plus, added contributions from all of the membership, plus we had investment returns and took off the cost of the pensions and the benefits expenses, and at the end of the year we had $52.8 billion. So currently the contributions actually cover all of the costs, including the pension payments, but over time that will decline as the number of pensioners increases. So although our actual return for the year was 2.1%, we use a smoothing methodology. So on a smooth basis, our return for the year, our annualized return is 8.8%, and that's over the last 10 years. And show you some of the variability year by year, which is a short time frame of the investment returns. We belong to the Principles of Responsible Investing as a member, and their focus is on environment, social, and governance issues, and our investment agent also belongs to the PRI. And I know something that's near and dear to everyone in local government is climate action, And our investment agent has stepped up to the plate on that. So as a pension group, we don't do the investing. So where climate action has the most impact for us is with our investment agent. So they've got a new climate action plan, and it's available on the web. I really encourage you to look at it. I was really impressed when I had a presentation on it not too long ago. And you can see there some of the items that they look into. And they also are a signatory to the climate-related financial disclosure, so they're really working on trying to bring accountability in the climate area. Our membership profile is, there's a snapshot of it, and the inactives, for people who aren't aware, means people who worked in local government or one of the other one of the other employers, left that employment, but left their money in the plan. So for those people, when they eventually retire, they too will get a municipal pension, based, of course, on what they put in and the cumulative earnings. A snapshot of our active members by age, and you can see there that 2/3 of the employees are over 40. So it is an aging membership, and that has impacts on how much it means to have a good idea of where we are in the plan and to have sufficient revenue coming in. And you can see there again, that's over 10 years, the shift in actives compared to retirees over time. And that is in spite of active membership actually increasing 26% over that last 10-year period. But you can see the retirees increased by 69%. So they're increasing pretty quickly. So how are pensions paid? This shows the three basic inputs: employer and employee contributions and investments, and they all go into the investment, into the basic pension account. Non-guaranteed benefits. So over the time that I've been on the board, we've made a lot of changes to focus on the pension payments, and as a result, what were previous benefits for retirees have decreased, but there is a nominal amount still left on the group benefit side, and that is only contributed to by the employer through part of their 1% contribution. Employees pay nothing into that. And again, this just focuses that the employer, 1% goes to the inflation adjustment account and to the group benefits, and nothing from the employees goes into that account. Cost of living adjustments, we brought in a sustainable methodology in 2015, and the actuary did work and worked with the plan to come up with a cap for the 3-year period after that actuarial, and in order to maintain sustainability in the COLA account. And I know when I started work, and for many years thereafter, nobody even did any actuarial work on the inflation account. So that's all improved over the years. It's dealt with every 3 years in the same way that the pension account, basic pension account, is looked at. So with that cap, in fact, last year, the inflation was slightly larger than the cap, so the increase for the retired group was at the cap. So that's the first time that, in fact, full inflation wasn't paid. So currently, the board continues to be focused on the long term. We're working on updated strategic planning, on risk management, and there's an asset liability study underway, and in addition, a group benefits review. So a little more on the valuation, because 2018 is a valuation year. So it is required under the joint trust agreement. It's conducted by an independent actuary, and it really is an incredibly powerful tool, because every 3 years it gives us a projection on where we are in terms of funding. So it allows the board to make decisions on other items, with funding being by far the most important thing. So the actuary looks at basically two different kinds of items, the economic and demographic, and then comes up with a set of results, a projection for the funding. And as you can see there, in 2015, we were 104.6% funded. So some of that money, some of that difference between 100% went into the inflation account, and some of it is kept in reserve. Now, that's the last year that we have public information out, because 2018 is a year that we're doing the actuarial evaluation, and the actual results will be given out at the 2019 AGM. However, as far as I know, we are still fully funded. So that's a hurrah for our pension plan, because there aren't a lot of fully funded pension plans. And I just think it's great. The board has done wonderful work, and we have a great investment group. So, actuarial evaluations, it's nothing there until the AGM in the fall. So I'd encourage any of you, especially in the Lower Mainland, where you can actually get there fairly easily, to go to the AGM. It would be really nice to see some active workers in the audience instead of a sea of retirees. You know, like, everyone has the same vested interest, whether they realize it or not, and we would really appreciate it. And we actually have some interesting speakers to try and encourage more attendance. So with that, I encourage you again to look at our website, and especially if there are changes in your life, whether you've got more children, you've got new relationships, married, or you have sad circumstances. There's lots of information, and actually an amazing amount of information that is relevant for any of those circumstances on the website. So please take a look. And in fact, if for anyone in the room that is just about to retire, you can even retire online now. And we have, for the first time, the municipal pension, who is staff out in your booth area, who are happy, thrilled to answer questions that you have in person. But you can retire online, and you can get lots of information online. So thanks so much. That's yeah. Okay. The end.
Thank you so much, Diane.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. Sorry, guys, just bear with me. I'm just trying to go into the webpage and see if I can retire online. It says I'm not eligible, but oh well, that's okay. Thank you so much, Diana. We really do appreciate the annual update. I know at work we oftentimes look at the pension plan as a fantastic recruitment tool. One day it will be an enjoyment tool, but I'm working on it. It will take time. So at this stage, I would like to request a motion to adjourn the 2019 annual general meeting. Do you have a mover? It means we can get lunch. Thank you. Do you have a seconder? It says we have to have discussion. Any discussion? Seeing none, I call the question. There was a seconder. Sorry, I didn't see who it was. Can we get another one just to be for the record? Terry, please. Perfect. Thank you, Terry. So we have a seconder. Any discussion on the motion to have lunch and adjourn things? Seeing none. All those in favor? Opposed? Seeing none. Motion carries. So lunch is available. Please enjoy, and we'll see you again shortly. Thank you.